When do we change the clocks? What? What do you mean? How does anyone know the date or whether to change the clocks forward or back? I always get so confused. It's easy. Now you're getting everyone in the clock changing spirit.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. Monday, March 9th. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Morning, everybody.
What's up, Tassie? We got the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lily, and last but not least, making the magic happen, it's JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. JD, how was Nashville?
Nashville was awesome.
Yeah? You had a blast?
I had a great time. I did all the typical things. Went to a musical. Went to a comedy show. So not very typical at all, but it was fun. It was really
You went
good.
to the Johnny Cash
I went to the Johnny Cash Museum. Yeah.
That's very typical.
It was pretty typical. It was a huge ripoff. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's like when you're paying for a family of four, go see some memorabilia. It's like over $80.
Wow.
We were in there for maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not very big.
It's not big.
It's not.
But you know, you got to do stuff like that,
Yeah.
I guess.
And
Yeah.
what musical did you see?
I saw Jesus Christ Superstar. It's the 50th anniversary. It's my favorite musical of all time, and it was awesome.
Oh,
and we
well,
were
there you
sitting
go.
in the front row. It was great.
Front row.
Front row, baby.
What'd that put you back?
How much Johnny Cash did that cost
That
you?
cost me $70. I jumped on those tickets as soon as it was announced.
Oh, good for you.
So I was just right in there.
Oh.
Well, it's great to have you back.
Thanks.
We missed you at the roller rink.
I know. I was
Indeed.
the one thing I would actually be interested in, in participating in. I missed. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And I'm sure we'll talk about the roller rink more in the future when the clips start dropping. But guys, follow us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at No Dunks Inc. You know we're on Facebook at facebook.com/NoDunksInc.
Well, I guess it's official. We're now on Facebook.
And email us your NBA questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. You know it. We'll be stepping on the beach a little later this week, so you got a few days here to get in your fresh, hot questions or comments. But it's a Monday staple on No Dunks. We look back at the NBA weekend. We hit you with the winners and the losers. It feels like we got so much here to break down here on a Monday. So let's start with the winners. Tass, I feel like you got a pretty obvious winner of the weekend.
Yeah, there's other things to talk about other than the Los Angeles Lakers. There are other stories because the Lakers have taken over the league. They won 2 games. I think not only are the Lakers winners because they beat the other 2 best teams in the league, and the Bucks and the Clippers, for the first time this season. That's the key here.
Yep.
But we're all winners because we've got a storyline here. We've got something to talk about because it wouldn't have been as juicy if the Clippers had gone 3-0 versus the Lakers this season, or if the Bucks had gone 2-0 this season. We're looking forward now to the Lakers potentially meeting the Clippers, and yeah, they look great. And the storyline of LeBron opening up this MVP debate that everybody thought was over. Mm-hmm. That Giannis had taken it over. He has opened that debate, especially because the Bucks not only lost on Friday to the Lakers, but then they lose on Sunday as well to the Phoenix Suns. So here we are. I don't think there's more than they won 2 games really to take from this when you're looking at the playoffs. Let's not go crazy here.
Yeah?
Yeah. The Clippers, I still think, are the favorite in this series. The Lakers, as LeBron said, as a lot of the Clippers said, it's just hard to win 3 games against a team. It's hard to sweep a team, and the Lakers, if you want to take something from it, maybe this was a Clippers home game, and there's still lots of Lakers fans, and in a 7-game series, it's basically going to be a home series for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that's something to look at, and LeBron taking the big challenge, I guess, is important here.
And what about Anthony
Giannis.
Davis? I mean, that's going to be the key to me in a series if they meet.
Talking about the Clippers specifically.
Yeah. I mean, he looked fantastic. I know the talk, you're right, Monday morning here is the LeBron back in the MVP discussion. Can he steal it? You know, if the Lakers, catch the Bucks even for the number 1 overall record, they're only like 2 games back in the loss column, so it's not that far-fetched, especially with an injury to Giannis, and we'll get to that later, I'm sure. But, yeah, it's this AD factor. It's like LeBron was awesome. AD was just as good in these 2 wins. I mean, that's what happens, when the Lakers win. A lot of the credit, rightfully so, goes to LeBron, but here's AD as the monster in these games. Very simply getting to his 30 points, getting to the line, of course, and obviously contributing defensively too.
Yeah, he is. I mean, LeBron is more than happy to defer to Davis at times. But still, when the winning time is on, I felt LeBron is like, I'm taking over this game. You saw last night, driving inside, doing those things and sending a message, I think. He's been sending messages to Zion Williamson. He's sending one to Giannis and the Bucks, and now he's sending one to the Clippers. But Davis has really accepted, I think, that role that, he's going to be the future of the Lakers. But right now, LeBron, it's like almost a transition stage. LeBron's sort of showing him how to do it. And then and Davis on the defensive end has been fantastic. He was great against the Bucks on Friday night. But then on the offensive end, when the time calls for it, Davis is there, and they're running plays through him, and that's great to see. A lot of confidence. I've been someone who said, that Giannis is going to be unanimous MVP. Mm-hmm. I think he's still MVP.
He ain't going to be unanimous.
He's not going to be unanimous anymore.
Not even a chance.
But certainly, this wasn't a good weekend for the Bucks, but it certainly was a fantastic weekend for the Lakers. So it's great. It's great because, Tass is saying the Clippers are the favorite. I'm not sure I agree, but that's great. That's what we want. We want that uncertainty. We don't want it as it has been for 5 years in a row almost, where it's like, the Warriors, something has to go terribly wrong for the Warriors to win.
So you're saying, Skeets, that there's no matchup for Anthony Davis on?
I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is.
They don't have a good one.
And I don't think Doc knows really either. I think at times maybe Zubac should have gotten a little bit more minutes, but he runs with Harrell. And then the Lakers, when Lou's out there, they go at him. I mean, they might have, in terms of the matchups, there's the firepower, the star power on both sides, but it might be in the margins. Being able to exploit some of the other guys or not having an answer to slow them, I think is in play.
I think that's exactly right. And for the weekend, it basically just muddies the water. All three of these teams, the Bucks, Lakers, and Clippers, I think you would say are basically on equal footing for who could win the championship at this point now. But the takeaway is definitely that the Lakers can put some serious pressure on the rim. They were trying to get buckets inside, even against the Bucks, a team that has a bunch of huge guys who are pretty good defending the rim. But when you look at the Clippers, it's like, you really want Zubac out there closing games? Probably not.
No, I
but
get
also
it.
Davis is running wild against Montrezl Harrell, and if Lou Williams out there, you've got minus defenders basically at the two most important spots, a point guard and at the rim. So that is a problem for the Clippers.
Right.
That's why Joakim Noah was sitting in the stands. He's ready to join the Clippers and be that man.
If he's closing too, feast away.
Oh yeah, no, he's not closing.
This is a problem
That's
for
just
the Clippers,
joke.
right? I mean, the Lakers are bigger. And that's going to be the case in the playoffs.
Earlier, was it Thursday night, Rockets and the Clippers, and Zubac feasted on the Rockets because they had no one inside. But in this instance, he just is no match for Anthony Davis. I mean, he's
But who is in this league?
Not many guys
he's
at
a
all.
top 5 player.
Yeah, not many guys at all. But Montrez is a great energy guy. He gives it his all. But Davis has got the length, he's got the reach, he can step outside and knock down their shots.
I can't ever remember seeing Anthony Davis take a jumper on the baseline and then blow off his fingers like he's on fire. I don't ever remember AD doing something like that in a game. Do you know what I mean? Just that confidence level of him. And, of course, with the Lakers led by LeBron, I mean, it's sky high, and they wanted this game a little bit more than the Clips. There's no doubt. LeBron was diving on the floor for loose balls, stepping in, taking huge charges.
Same with Davis. What in the world?
Right?
Yeah, I think they didn't want to go. They didn't want to be swept by this Clippers team. They were extremely desperate to not be swept 3-0. And LeBron also timed this MVP thing perfectly. And I think that plays into it. Giannis has been doing it all season, and LeBron has been very good all season, but for him to step up and guard Giannis and then guard Kawhi a lot of this game and be on the floor for 2 games, it's different than doing it for 60. And I'm not trying to knock LeBron down a peg, but when it comes down to it, I think we should all be in agreement that Giannis has been more steady and hasn't had a guy to defer to like LeBron has this season, and Anthony Davis is the leading scorer on this team. So on both ends. LeBron stepped up and made this case known on the biggest weekend of the season here before March Madness takes over. LeBron was very aware that he's playing the 2 best teams and that they needed just for a little bit of confidence going into the playoffs. The Lakers still obviously would have had a good shot, at being the best team against the Clippers if they got swept, but it bodes well for them. Just that little confidence, and it bodes well for the MVP picture.
It does. I mean, I still think Giannis rightfully deserves to go back-to-back because of what he's done all year. But even I'll admit, if the Lakers suddenly catch the Bucks and have more victories, more wins, then it's like, well, okay, you could maybe start to convince me that sure, throw your vote out of LeBron, because
He's also going to lead the league in assists.
yeah, and that was I mean, we were saying, oh, the Bucks they're running away with this. They're going to flirt with 70, of course, and like that's not looking the case now after dropping 3 or 4, and again the injury. It's like they're not that far behind, and then it makes it really, really interesting. It's not going to be unanimous.
No.
That's a done deal. That's a wrap. Not that it matters, but let's talk about one other thing with the Lakers that they got to be happy about. Avery Bradley in this game versus the Clippers. I mean, he was sort of the Kyle Kuzma, like that third guy, the scorer, hitting a bunch of threes. I mean, he has so much spacing when all eyes are on LeBron, and then you got to worry about AD. There's going to be shots for these guys, and I thought he was awesome on Sunday, knocking down 6.
Yeah, I think he's been inconsistent and frustrating, though, for the Lakers this season. But, yeah, he's the Bruce Bowen almost. Like, just get out there, hit those threes, and then play defense. And you're going to get a tough assignment because he's a good defender. But if he's hitting 6 yesterday, it just changes everything for the Lakers, because then it gives LeBron that opportunity to be like, all right, when he's in distribution mode, if he's got confidence in guys hitting threes, that was, when Cleveland, when he was at his best, it was like, right, I'm coming down, who's hitting threes? And Bradley has this opportunity, but as I say, I think at times this season, he's just driven the Lakers mad because he has been inconsistent. So on a big stage,
been playing pretty well recently though, which is a big reason why
he's improved. He has improved a lot, but will he be able to maintain that in the playoffs? That's the big question.
And the Clippers were up 10-5, and Lakers call a timeout. Frank Vogel's like, what the heck? This is going to be a rout. And then Anthony Davis comes, just plays hard D, steal. Avery Bradley was an incredible steal, poking it from Patrick Beverley, the mouth that is Patrick Beverley, that beautiful poke, and then scoring on the other end. They stepped up and they decided to play defense, and that Avery Bradley steal was exactly what they needed. They were a little bit more, a little tougher. It's easy to just say, oh, this team wanted it more, but they played harder for 48 minutes in this game.
Yeah,
and
they won
Bradley
both games over the weekend, really, with their defense, being the elite defense. Because even against the Bucks, we thought, wow, to beat Milwaukee, you got to hit a bunch of threes. Like, that's going to really be your only chance. You're going to get a lot of them. Got to knock them down. They didn't.
It was a post-up festival.
They attacked, exactly, and then they did it defensively and slowed them down, yeah.
People complain about everybody playing the same. Everybody shoots threes. The Lakers have been posting up for clutch situations from the first game of the season. Like Davis and LeBron, even going against Bucks teams that have 2 7-footers on the court for basically the entire game. LeBron had 11 in the fourth quarter, and Anthony Davis had 14. And it was every single time down, one of them was in the post, working. Maybe the ball gets swung around on a double team, but I saw LeBron score on the post against Giannis. I saw LeBron score in the post against Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Both this weekend. Pretty impressive.
Weird Paul George game on Sunday, too. I mean, at times looked like the best player, maybe, of all the stars for a good chunk of the game, and then MIA in the fourth quarter. I mean, what did he finished with? Like 2 points, I think, in the fourth. Maybe even 2 shots.
Yeah,
from the field.
Because in the third quarter, it looked like he was taking over the game.
Yeah.
When he's in that sort of silky smooth rhythm, he looks so good out on the court. He can get his shot off at any time. But whether it was the Lakers' defense or just the moment, or Kawhi maybe trying to take over a little bit much in that fourth quarter, he didn't do anything. That was a very, very strange. And I mean, Montrezl got a lot of the ball too. They were sort of going to post-ups there. He got a lot of free throws. But, I'm not sure exactly why Paul didn't just demand the ball.
Right.
That's what you expect from a star like him. So, yeah. But, in that moment, the Clippers played a great half. LeBron took over. And sometimes that's just all it is that superstar who's like, I'm winning this game. And taking out those other players in a way that he does that by putting his imprint on the game.
I like to know that LeBron now has the imaginary crown back, too. That's been being passed around. I think Kuzma gave it back to him, right? So that is now on LeBron's head.
Yeah, it's like the NBA championship belt.
Yeah.
Whoever won it at the end of the last season. But I would have thought that Kawhi was the one who had the crown coming into the season.
Right.
So maybe, I know Giannis got it. He stole it his own self.
Oh, yeah.
So
he stole it off LeBron, didn't he?
Yeah, he stole it off LeBron. So I guess LeBron got it back against the Bucks with the win.
Yep.
But they just weren't able to honor him until Sunday. Wanted to do it in LA, I guess. I don't know.
So you don't want to be, it sounds like, Tass, a prisoner of the moment. You still think, tell me if I'm wrong, in let's say a Western Conference Finals matchup, you would right now still lean towards taking the Clippers. Is that fair to say?
I'm a Clipper man.
Wow.
I'm a Clipper man.
Yeah. I'm also, how do you pronounce his name?
Jidenna?
Jidenna. That is. I'm also a Jidenna man.
Big fan.
I always want to see him at the celebrity game, no matter if he's a one-hit wonder or not. I'm not sure. I don't really know his catalog all that well, but I want to see him there until he's 2080, and then I'm going to go to the Jidenna museum, no doubt.
Right beside the cash museum.
Yeah, I want to see all that memorabilia. I'll pay
You'll be in and out
per.
in 2 minutes in that museum.
That's his real suit from the Classic Man video? Incredible.
Did you see that behind the back in the celebrity game in 2044? Yeah, I think I'm taking them. Of course, there's questions. I don't know who they finish against Anthony Davis with. Are they going to try and put Marcus Morris on him? Like, Marcus Morris was guarding LeBron towards the end of this game, and Kawhi was not, which was I found a little strange, and maybe that's just something that they're going to save for the playoffs. Kawhi on LeBron, but LeBron was also just too big for Kawhi Leonard in this game when they did face off. That's the question. Who's at the 5 guarding Anthony Davis? Is it Marcus Morris? It's a tough one. I find the Lou Williams thing a little weird. Reggie Jackson taking the ball out of his hands.
Yep.
Lou Williams not finding his flow as much since Reggie Jackson has come. But I'm betting those 5 guys can defend whoever's out there, even if it's Lou Williams out there, a little bit better than the Lakers. And it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a great series.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know. This is happening. They're playing each other. Because they do see him. So. They do see him with some of the other teams behind them struggling a little bit as well, or you not having 100% confidence in some of these squads, be it the Rockets or the Jazz and Nuggets, who look great at sometimes and then they look like they're garbage at other times. It's just like the Clippers and Lakers just feel like on the next level, and I'm obviously projecting that I hope they play each other, but I feel like even they know there's like an understanding on each side. Like, yeah, we're gonna be battling here. This is gonna be a war, and it's gonna be hilarious. Or is it just all Lakers fans in there? Are there any Clippers fans filling the arena, be it a home or away game?
I think one good thing for the Lakers going into the playoffs is that they're gonna face the 8 seed, and the Memphis Grizzlies are the easiest team to face, if it is Memphis or New Orleans. They're the easiest team to face in the Western Conference playoff picture. And so we see this 2-game spurt from LeBron where he is the best player on the floor. Undoubtedly. He's the best player in the world this weekend.
Yeah.
And so he can save it a little bit more for the later rounds than the Clippers, who are going to have to face a Mavericks team. They're going to have to find something, or a Rockets team running up and down.
Rockets, Thunder, or Mavericks. Probably.
That's a tougher team. That's a tougher matchup. And now I think the Western Conference playoff picture, we can get into it later, is a little bit more interesting now that maybe the Rockets and the Jazz aren't playing. The Rockets are in a good spot to upset the Nuggets, even if they're playing.
Right.
So there's lots to shake out there. But I think LeBron's legs. We came into the season saying that LeBron is ready to pass the torch in terms of regular season MVP. Maybe in a playoff series, he's still the best player in the world up against Kawhi and Giannis. We'll see. But 82-game stretch, it's tough. It's tough for a 35-year-old. But he showed it in this weekend, and he is preserving himself for the playoffs a little bit. And that bodes well when you're facing the Memphis Grizzlies, who they should mop.
He looks the healthiest he's looked in a long damn time. It looks like that time off, not making the playoffs and not doing anything in the
Whining
summer.
and dining.
Yeah. Looked like it's helped. He's over the weekend he goes for 65 points, 17 assists, 15 boards, 3 steals in the 72 minutes against 2 of the best teams in the league. Yeah, Giannis can still be the MVP, but you're not convincing me that LeBron is still not the best player in the world. In one game or one series,
100%.
It's as much as I love Giannis, as much as I love Kawhi, it appears that it is still LeBron when he's, of course, looking 100% healthy. He is just like, I'm going to attack every time here, and you're either going to run 2 or 3 guys at me, and then I'm maybe one of the best passers, or I am one of the best passers still in the world, or I'm just going to bully my way there. Because I'm stronger and bigger than
That's
you.
the thing. You wonder why he just doesn't do that sort of more often during the game. He did it late in the fourth quarter there when the game was there to be won.
He just picks his spots.
I know he does. And sometimes
his only weakness is hitting free throws still. It's like, do a hack of LeBron, get in his head somehow.
Well, I mean, he's 35. It's hard to do it.
Yeah.
He's even if you say like he is the best player in a 7-game series, it's tough for anybody. You watched Kawhi in the playoffs last year to guard the best player on the other team for the whole series, and so LeBron was doing it a bit, but Kawhi couldn't do it in the playoffs last year. He was tasked to try and do it against Giannis after a few games of not having to do it. Like you got to preserve these guys. It's just too hard. It's too hard to say, hey, LeBron. It's the typical Twitter fan. Just go downhill. It's too hard. It's impossible. You can't. It's physically impossible. There is no robot in the NBA, and he gets tired. I know it sounds dumb and simple, but it's true.
Lakers, big winner of the weekend. Lee, who you got?
Well, we sort of talked about it there. I'm very happy personally for this reason that Joakim Noah is going to be back in the league. Is he signed a 10-day apparently with the Clippers? It's not. I don't think it's official yet. I think he's got to pass the medical. But this really is a sign that the Clippers know they need some depth in that big position. And, I mentioned earlier, like Zubats against the Rockets could exploit it because there's no big man.
Yeah.
But this is going to be the question, going up against a Davis and perhaps a Jokic as well for the Clippers. Just a big body. And Noah, at least, like he played last year in Memphis and he's been out of league for a long time and he hasn't been that dominant player he was 5 years ago. But you're going to get effort and energy in the 10 minutes that he plays a night, if he even plays that. So he's more...
you think Noah can contribute to
well, again, I think
in the right series?
I think when the Clippers look at the what they have in the center position and what's out there, they go, okay, well, we know that this guy's at least going to come out there and give everything he's got for 5 minutes. He can rebound, he can defend, he's a body. I follow his Instagram account. He's in great shape.
Yeah, we know you're in love with Joakim Noah, man.
I am. No, but I'm just happy that he's getting another chance as well to see. I thought he was fine in Memphis last season as well.
Yeah. He's surprised a lot of people.
If you're picking up a guy at this stage of the season on a 10-day, you're not looking for him to go out there and...
God, I would hope not.
No, play 25 minutes and be one of your best players. You're looking for a guy who can come out there and, okay, when Davis is on a roll last night and you got Zubats and Montrez, Joakim, see if you can just at least get a body on him. Yeah. Stay with him. Do what you can. Box out. Tap the ball out. And that's what I think he at least gives the Clippers because they know going into a series against the Lakers, they are short-handed in the middle.
So you're happy he's back?
I'm just thrilled that he's
just
back.
Just happy. Just can't wait to see the Instagram
The most
post.
handsome guy in the NBA, according to Lee Ellis.
He is very, very handsome. But also, you're going to get a couple
Still
of...
disagree with that.
Oh, come on, man.
He's got a cool look.
He's got a unique look.
He's not a traditionally handsome man, but he's got a look.
He's a stylish dude, man. But again, what I think with him is, he's at least the sort of player who you know is going to go out there and work his ass
compete.
off.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what the Clippers need right now. They need some... He's another 6 fouls for them as well. Great.
I didn't look at his Instagram account, but from Joe Varden's article on The Athletic, Joakim Noah was at the arena.
Yep.
Yes.
Taking in the game, 16 rows up. Was he shown on the broadcast?
I don't know. I don't remember. I saw a photo of him.
I think Zach Harper had a photo of him.
He looked dressed like Trey Kirby.
Yeah.
He looked cool.
That's what I mean.
That's what I was
Trey's more handsome than Joakim Noah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But I'm honestly trying to get on his level. I've tried to have Joakim Noah hair for like 10 years, and finally we're getting close.
That's what I was going to ask about, what he was wearing. He was wearing a knit sweater, according to Joe Varden, with a palm tree.
Yeah.
And his hair flowing from under his New York stocking cap.
Once you see a test, you'll be like, oh, yeah, Trey would wear that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it look fine. He's got his own style, no doubt. I just don't think his face is all that handsome.
Come on.
I know you're into his body. I mean, you're always pointing out that. And the guy's still in great shape. I'm just, and I saw a lot of people agreeing with me on Twitter, by the way, or at least going back at you. Like, come on, he's not that handsome. Like,
yeah, but it's a special type of, like...
It's unique.
Yeah, it is unique.
He could be a model, for sure.
That's the thing. He's like David Beckham. I think you put anything on him and he could make it look stylish.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna touch
Oh, this is a cool sweater.
See?
Oh, this is a wicked sweater.
I think Lee is in love with Joakim's dad, Yannick Noah.
Yeah,
historically.
He is.
As a tennis player and a tennis savant that Lee is.
Yes.
You've always loved him. So
I think you love the lifestyle that maybe a Noah lives to. I think you
the
are
stickety
envious.
ickety.
Oh yeah, just free spirit. I think,
He's definitely a free spirit.
Hanging with Laird.
Yannick won the French Open in 1983.
There we go.
83.
Joakim was born 9 months later. No, not that close, but not far after.
All right, so you got Noah as one of your
Unfortunately,
big
Lee,
winners of the
the
weekend.
Clippers sealed their fate by signing Joakim Noah. 0-4 against LeBron in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, actually,
That's tough. One of my all-time favorite Bulls, but
yeah,
couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
As my mate would
a great
say.
point.
He's a bit of an Al Horford against LeBron, really, isn't he?
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Al Horfords in the Eastern Conference from back in the day, but if he riles him up, like if we get a classic Noah heckling LeBron moment again in the playoffs, it's all worth it.
And he's going to hit a mid-ranger, and the celebration's going to be awesome. He's going to have the hair going, the face going, the hands going.
He's going to put the pistols away.
I think he's
Does he
retired.
still do
I
the
think he
pistols?
retired
I
the
thought he brought
pistols.
him back once.
Maybe he
Am I
did.
crazy? All right, you have another big guy as a winner.
Oh my God, what a weekend it was for Aron Baynes.
All right.
Friday
What
night.
about the Suns in general?
Yeah, the Suns. Friday night, Aron Baynes goes for 9 threes against the Portland Trailblazers. 5 in the first quarter, including a step back.
That was legit insane. It's weird to see a guy that big do a pretty damn good looking step back.
That wasn't an accidental step back.
Oh, no. That was practiced.
And he knocked it in. Just an incredible performance. Now, the 9 threes on the surface are great, but if you scratch that surface a little more, It gets even better. He had 3 screen assists, which
boy.
led to 3 more three-pointers.
Easy, nerder, she wrote.
Come on.
And he had a regular assist, which led to another 3-pointer. So Aron Baynes was responsible for 13 3-pointers on Friday night. So I'm saying I'm putting him under Klay Thompson. Klay's got the most with 14. Baynesy's right there with Steph at 13 for most threes made in the game. I'm giving him credit for those because he was incredible. But, you know, the thing about Aron Baynes, like all jokes aside, is when he came into the league, you know, with the Spurs, I thought he's going to be a role player, a backup player, and never really, you know, have a significant impact on this league. Right. I think he has just proven if you work so hard and you increase your game and you add to your game, you can become an effective player. We know he's been dunked on a dozen times, but I love the fact that he never backs away. You know, if a guy's coming down the paint, he's challenging, even if he gets dunked on by Giannis again or close to it. And now the fact that he's added this 3-pointer to his game, because it's a reasonable shot for him now. It's not like, oh, he's never going to hit another
It's
three.
such a weird looking three.
Not pretty.
I actually hate this. I hate that he
so
made so many threes
strange
because
looking.
I hate the way he shoots.
Yeah.
It does not look like an NBA player. Like the step back looks smoother than his regular jumper to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just has the ball like very far above behind his head.
And then he sort of puts it in a
very weird
way. Yeah.
Even his footwork is weird because he
Definitely.
kicks that right foot into his shot.
Yeah, he's always almost like falling over the line as he shoots.
Yeah.
It. But again, you know, when I compare him to another Australian, Ben Simmons, it's like, come on, Ben. Surely.
Man, wow.
Set some screen assists.
No, but I mean,
Come on.
like this just
You're
Come
like,
on.
if Baynesy can hit a 3, why can't Simba?
if he's shooting 58, he's made 58 on 161, 36% from 3.
Right.
This season.
So you think Ben Simmons should be able to replicate
I just
that
think he
very
should be
easily?
able to at least shoot more than, you know, he's made 2 for his career. But
swerve. I didn't see you going there.
but it just frustrates me because, like I say, with Baynes, is I don't think anyone really saw this growth and development, except when you watch him play for Australia, he is a brilliant player for Australia. And now he's actually showing in the NBA. It's like, he can be, like, imagine him on the Clippers right now.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
It is weird that he wasn't able to be pried away. No one could pry him away from the Phoenix Suns' dead hands at the trade deadline, right?
Yeah.
Somebody would love him. I mean, he was the Joel Embiid stopper for the Celtics for a long time, and Anthony Davis would, you know, burn him using his speed. But still, they would desperately want him.
And he can spread the floor. You know, that's the thing. He gives you at least that option.
He's playing himself to a nice, juicy contract, too. He's
Mm-hmm.
a free agent at 33 years of age in a year where there aren't a lot of free agents out there. He'll get some Australian dollars.
I just respect the fact that, you know, like we always talk about superstars, they always add to their game. And he continues to improve at this stage of his career. And I think that's admirable.
Are they going to work in the offseason together, Baynesy and Simbo?
Well, they should. They should.
The perfect one, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe they should trade Embiid for Baynes. Finally get an actual big man who can shoot out there.
That's a good idea.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, the Suns had 2 Whoa Boys this weekend. You had Baynesy on that night, and then following it up with Pretty Tricky Ricky going for 25, 13, and 13. Some Nash-like numbers coming out of Rubio there in the desert. And the Suns got some wins.
Nash-like numbers.
Yeah, I think he was the last player to do that for the Suns, to put up that type of weird triple-double.
Nash
the
had
13s.
I never thought Nash
Yeah,
would have that
rebounds.
many rebounds.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. Yeah, you can go ahead and Schumann fact check me because
I'm
I'm not
sure.
100%. I
Shoot
feel like
me up.
I feel like I half-assed saw a tweet saying that.
That's all you need.
That's all you
One
need.
tweet you may have seen.
What do you got, Trey, for winner of the weekend?
Winner of the weekend goes to the Dallas Mavericks. We know they're one of the best for in-arena entertainment, but they have locked it down because we were talking about getting on the Jumbotron earlier and how there needs to be an industry standard of being able to download your video from the Jumbotron so you don't have to take your phone out and try and take a picture of it. Just act like you were acting to get on the Jumbotron, have some fun. That's why the Mavs have launched Mavs.com/great name, Jumbo FOMO.
That's a great name.
You don't want to miss out on seeing yourself on the Jumbotron, but you still got to have the fun. So go to Mavs.com/Jumbo FOMO, and you can download your clip from any game. Now, it is a little bit tough.
Yeah, I was
because
going to say, how do you
upload-
know, like, when your clip
Okay,
was? or when
so
you were on
yeah,
the-
that's the question. You click for your game, you click download your clip, and then they have a Vimeo. These are all Vimeo links. Shout out to Vimeo. It's back, baby.
Yeah, the Basketball Jones days.
And
Vimeo.
you can just scroll through, I don't know, for the New Orleans games, they've got 40 videos of people going wild on the Jumbotron. I guess they must be in chronological order
yeah.
a little bit, so maybe you just kind of look for yourself to be in here. Maybe they edited it quite well, so you're seeing yourself in the screenshot, but you download it, and you got your clip forever. Don't ever have to pull your phone out.
Well, let me guess. They probably put a nice smart watermark or something on it, right?
You got
so
to.
then when you share it to social, it's right there. Man, that's brilliant. I mean, that's what we were
Very
talking
smart.
about. That's
Yep.
exactly what
Jumbo
we were talking about.
FOMO. Thanks to Conrad Burry for alerting us to this existence. But yeah, it's also funny because you can just look at every single fan at every single game that you ever wanted to.
Right.
I don't know this guy. I'm going to download his clip and I'm going to have it forever. If you look like a fool, somebody out there could be downloading this.
Yeah, okay. I got a bunch of mini winners, and you guys can jump in here and agree or disagree. I'm going to give one to the Pelicans, who got basically 2 gotta-have-them type of wins over the weekend to stay within striking distance of the 8th seed. They beat the Heat, and they followed it up by beating the Wolves. Now, it wasn't pretty. Especially that Sunday game versus Minnesota, they had 25 turnovers. gave that ball up a lot. But you had the Zota Zion lobs, Drew Holiday having a monster game, going for 37. And here they are. They're still 4 games back. Those are Grizzlies. They had to have those victories. I still don't think they're ultimately going to do it, even though 538 has the Pelicans at a 62% chance to make the playoffs. Yeah, they had dipped below 50% last week. I saw Ziller right.
How's that
but
possible?
They're still there. I know. It's
They're 4 games back.
Very strange how high it is. They have an easy schedule.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it. And, I think the Grizzlies have a much more difficult schedule, but they're still 4 back. They had to have those. They're a win.
Yeah, that win against the Wolves is huge, of course, because they lost one
They
at
had lost.
home.
Yeah, that's right.
And how big could that one now be,
Yeah,
potentially? But, of course, who knows in the grand scheme of things, these things even out. But, man, that was one that they should have had.
I'm not buying this 538 business. Go ahead.
Wow, they've never been wrong with their predictions before.
Never. This is going to be the first time.
Yuck. This one, winner of the weekend, it came from a fan on Twitter. The Jeremy Perez, he tweeted in, "Can't wait to see the No Dunks crew give the Orlando Magic a winner of the weekend mention." So there's your mention. I mean, I couldn't get all that excited. They beat the Wolves and the Rockets. Okay, it was a dominant win against the Rockets. And they are still in the 8th seed. They're still they have one more loss than the Nets. But okay. I mean, there was no, they're not falling out of the playoffs. The Wizards ain't catching them. The Bulls ain't catching them. The Hornets ain't catching them. They're going to be jockeying between the Nets for the 7th or 8th seed. So you're either going to be losing to the Bucks or you're going to be losing to the Raptors, I guess. But okay, sure.
It's got to be fun.
Okay.
I guess going up against a Houston Rockets team, I think for any team, that's just gives them a little bit extra motivation. Like, oh yeah, let's go big boy this team. Let's go beat them on the boards.
They absolutely did that. You're right.
Yeah, and that was weird. Those were weird highlights. Seeing the Magic score a lot of points.
So Orlando Magic, there you go, Jeremy Perez. Duncan Robinson, let's give him a winner of the weekend. I know the Heat did lose a game, but this guy on Friday goes 8 for 14 on 3-pointers versus the Pelicans. And then on Sunday, he goes 7 for 11 on 3-pointers in a win versus the Wizards. He is averaging 25 points per game over the last 3 contests, shooting 65% from deep on 12.3 attempts per game from behind the line.
Any screen assists?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Not
a lot of
impressed.
screen assists.
This is he is automatic right now.
Definitely.
It is fun to watch. So little love for him for winner of the weekend. And finally, Dennis Schroeder stealing the score with less than 10 seconds to go against the Celtics. They stole the game.
Yeah.
Legit stole the game. CP3 playing great defense on Kemba. Here comes Schroeder. Kemba didn't see him. Clean strip. Got the ball. Just calmly laid it in. No panic at all. And OKC got the win, and they rise up the Western Conference standings a little bit more. He contributed 27 off the bench. I said it a little bit, or a couple weeks ago, I guess, on Twitter. I think we talked about it here on the show too. He's winning 6th man of the year. Yeah, there's not really a case to be made for anyone else, in my opinion. He's the numbers he's contributing off the bench to a winning team. He plays clutch minutes. Like, he's similar to Lou Williams when he was winning it for all those years in terms of the numbers and being sort of one of the go-to guys. I know Chris Paul is going to dance on big man and hit his jumper every time, but Shooter's right there.
Yep.
I think he's winning it.
And Reggie Jackson has taken a bit of this
you
steam
said that.
out of Lou Williams' case as well, because his numbers are gone down with Reggie's the ball handler in that second unit a lot of the time. It's weird. It's weird to me not seeing That talented Lou, sweet Lou with the ball as much.
So there's a bunch of winners from the very busy NBA weekend. Tell us if we missed any.
You're right about the Steve Nash line. He had 12, 13, and 12.
Oh, there you
Once
go.
upon a time.
Wow.
He had 13 rebounds.
Yeah, that's wild.
I went through every game log in the last 10 minutes or so. Yeah, it's strange because he had a 13 rebound game, and then the next highest one he ever had was 10, it seems like, according to the game logs.
Ball was just falling into his lap.
Yeah,
that
was a nice night.
Rebounds are actually pointless. We put too much stock into them.
Ain't that the truth?
All right, before we get to the losers of the NBA weekend, a little love to the companies that help make this podcast a reality.
Guys, it's 2020. Delivery is more than just pizza and wings. With a selection of your favorite flavors from across the globe, you can order cuisine from the comfort of your living room with DoorDash. Just last week, I was craving a curry, so what did I do? I hit up the DoorDash app and had a beautiful biryani delivered in less than 25 minutes.
Wow.
You know, I had some naan bread on the side too. That's one of my top 5 breads. It was delicious.
I agree with that.
Why is it great? You can use it at the start and the end of a meal. It's fantastic. Ordering.
That's naan bread.
Naan bread, yeah.
I thought you meant DoorDash.
Yeah.
Sure. Order a dessert. Why not?
Yeah, because you can start off by having it plain and then you're mopping up the leftovers at the end.
No.
It's fantastic.
It's a spoon.
Versatile.
It's really a spoon.
It really is a spoon. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want to eat, and your food will be delivered to you wherever you are, like I was. With door-to-door delivery in all 50 US states, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, you can order from your local go-tos or choose from your favorite restaurants like Bojanic, Canton, Buddha, or La Parrilla. Right now, our listeners can get $5 off their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code NODUNKS. That's $5 off your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code NODUNKS. Don't forget, Tass.
I won't.
That code is
No ducks.
for $5 off your
First order.
with DoorDash.
When they delivered that sweet curry to you,
Yes.
do you go out to the road to pick it up, or do you let them actually bring it right to your door?
I go out to the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice of you.
Interesting,
Yes.
eh?
Yeah, I prefer to go out to the road.
Prefer what?
Yeah.
You don't want them seeing your living room?
Just prefer to meet them in a neutral zone.
Okay.
It's interesting because you'd always let a pizza delivery person come to your door, right?
Yeah.
But things have changed
Yeah.
with
Yep.
these food delivery apps.
Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah.
With all these delivery
Yeah.
food apps like Tess said. Yeah, I go out. I meet them.
Yeah.
I tell them a place a block away. I don't want them to even have any idea where I'm
Yeah.
eating this meal.
I send them to Lee's house, and I go pick it
There'll
up.
be a guy there in his boxers.
Well, you might not get your naan bread if it comes to me.
The Black Tux believes every groom deserves a better experience when it comes to finding formal wear, a suit, or a tuxedo for their big day. Did you know the Black Tux was actually started by 2 guys who had one of the worst tuxedo fittings you could imagine? Turns out they aren't alone in this frustration. Just listen to these actual 1-star reviews from competitor tux shops that shall not be named. First review: go elsewhere. This place is pretty terrible, unless you're dressing like your grandpa for Halloween.
Oh.
Actually, a good costume. Your grandpa. Second review: we felt weird buying a suit from somebody so unhappy. We were afraid his bad vibes might follow us to our wedding day, so we left. You don't want any bad vibes associated with your wedding. I have to agree with that. But what I love about the Black Tux is that they have an easy online ordering process that brings your suit or tuxedo straight to you. You just pick a style at theblackTux.com and request a free home try-on so you can feel the fit and quality before you commit. If online isn't your style, the Black Tux has showrooms all over the country where you can find your fit and plan your look. From there, they'll ship your order 2 weeks before your wedding so you can check it one last time. Talk about commitment. Whether you're buying your outfit or looking to rent, you won't find a formal wear experience or designs like the ones you'll find at the Black Tux. If you want your wedding to be remembered for the right reasons, order your suit or tuxedo at theblackTux.com and enjoy 10% off with code DUNKS. That's theblackTux.com. Code DUNKS for 10% off your purchase. The Black Tux. Formal wear for the moment.
JD, you had a good experience with the Black Tux, did you not?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
What was that for?
It was for the NBA awards.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I don't own a suit. Look at me. Buying a suit. The last suit I bought was for my wedding, and I bought it like a fool. Paid for it. It's sitting in my closet. I haven't worn it since that day.
What? Is it a straight up?
It's an actual tux.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look
It's
at you.
pretty cool.
But, it was way fatter back then. I'm not going to get it tailored. I'm just going to go to the Black Tux.
Yeah, smart.
Get something that fits.
Very, very smart.
Get fitted and kitted at theblacktux.com. Code DUNKS.
Dunks. Yeah, that part's weird. We're going with dunks on that one.
Yes. Dunks.
Straight up dunks.
All right. Well, we had a pretty obvious winner of the weekend. I feel like we got the same for losers of the NBA weekend. Trey.
Loser of the weekend, the Brooklyn Nets, who agreed to mutually part ways with Kenny Atkinson. Nothing like a mutual agreement to part ways with 20 games left in the season. There's been a ton of reporting on this from Shams Charania at The Athletic. There's been a bunch from Vincent Goodwill at Yahoo Sports. Still don't totally know what's going on, but basically what it sounds like is a Jerry Sloan situation when he finally was done with Utah. It seems like Kenny Atkinson didn't like the stars that came in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, plus some of the other players who they acquired over the summer, and DeAndre Jordan, and even some of the players that were left behind in Spencer Dinwiddie. Also seems like all those new guys didn't necessarily like the everybody eats sort of mentality. That was the reason they came to Brooklyn in the first place. So very strange that this happened when it happened, and especially after a huge win.
Yeah.
And then they went out and got another win.
Yeah, they had that big bounce back win versus the Spurs, right? And are a playoff team and had beaten like Toronto and Boston and Indiana over the last month, like had some quality wins. And then, for him to mutually agree to part ways / you're fired.
That's the interesting thing. Vincent Goodwill reports that a league source told Yahoo Sports Kenny pushed for the parting just as much, if not more, than Brooklyn.
Yeah. So, okay, what do you think?
I mean, the fact that Kyrie Irving played 20 games and Kevin Durant's played 0 really makes it even weirder, because how could they have even clashed that much to the point where Kenny doesn't even want to be around? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, in they had a big meeting where they aired it all out after Wednesday's loss to the Grizzlies,
Right.
and apparently a lot of the players, not anyone specific, not the Stars specifically, were asking Kenny Atkinson to lay out the hierarchy for the team a little bit better. And maybe it's because he wanted to coach an everybody eats type of team and everybody just fall into the role a little bit, or maybe, from the other side, maybe he has trouble leading a team with superstars.
But that's Lee's point is he hasn't really led the
No.
team with superstars because the superstars really aren't playing.
They
That's
play,
the weird part.
Yeah, Kyrie played 20 games, and maybe they were struggling, integrating him into the lineup. I would think that that's sort of the issue, not only from the front office perspective, but from his perspective too. Like, I'm having trouble dealing with this with all these stars, and you're obviously seeing that I'm having trouble not integrating everybody, and so, according to Shams Charania, an off-season dismissal was inevitable. Like,
Wow.
I find that strange.
Right, and so then maybe if that's the case and Kenny sees the writing on the wall and he's not loving it anyway, he's like, well, there's going to be a bunch of coaching opportunities that are going to open up, if not already open, like, the Knicks, that I'll be like the first to the ball, like then I'll be one of the elite names out there, and I'll get to pick the team where I want, right? Is that fair to assume?
I think so. But I do think in most coaching situations we say there's 30 jobs in this league. Why wouldn't he just hang on and try let's say he actually had a say in this mutually discussed endeavor here.
Yeah.
You would think he'd want to stay on. But I would think, watching him, just listening to him over the last few years, he is a guy who is brutally honest and who would say, I'm having trouble coaching this team. It's not working for me. This superstar thing isn't really working for me. And maybe he actually wanted just to get the heck away. and because he is a player development guy, and maybe he struggled with this as well. So maybe if a lot of the time it's a bunch of hooey when they say mutually agreed upon agreement, but I don't know.
You sort of buy
a
it?
little bit. Yeah, I am buying this one because of just Kenny Atkinson's demeanor in this situation. But Sean Marks also said in his post game or press conference, or in his post firing press conference, I guess I should call it, that
post mutually exclusive.
a lot of it was on Sean Marks' decision as well, and so. It wasn't just Kenny, that's for sure.
Yeah, he said, Mark said repeatedly that the team needed a new voice and that there were never any blow-ups in the locker room, just healthy debates. But then they agreed on this, that he would move on.
But the funny thing was, one of their biggest wins was that comeback against the Celtics where LeVert had 51. And apparently, according to that article on The Athletic, saying at halftime, so the team almost like rallied around their coach in that respect.
Right.
You know, that they were able to come back and pull off one of the most remarkable victories of the season. So that, to me, says that they actually do have their coaches back. You know, because you instead, then they lose the next night at home to the Grizzlies by 39. So it's like, okay, that can happen on the second night of a back-to-back. But in that environment in Boston, tough place to win, you know, potentially might see these guys in the playoffs at some point. And Kenny was able to get them to come back by just riding a guy like Karis LeVert, who he's really brought along well.
Yeah.
Weird, very weird to me that then things were the opposite, that like there was some division and they needed a new voice. Because normally I would see that as the big loss where they just like the team doesn't even try.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, how much does this have to do with DeAndre Jordan? Hey, you said I was going to start when I came here, and then now Jared Allen starts, and then what happens immediately after Kenny is gone? Jordan starts again. Jacque Vaughn says you're starting.
Yeah. His name is coming up a lot in the reporting.
He's obviously best buddies with Kyrie and KD, and the whole reason they're all there. I think there's got to be something to that. But there's hierarchy too. It speaks to that. It's like, what is the hierarchy? I thought I was told I was going to be the guy, and I'm not agreeing. I don't think DeAndre Jordan actually should be starting over Jared Allen, but I could see why someone like him maybe is upset about it.
Well, yeah, especially if he feels like when I signed, they told me I was going to start, and he feels like there's a little switcho changeo on him. But if the reason that Kenny Atkinson is gone is because of Spencer Dinwiddie and DeAndre Jordan, then there's something seriously wrong with the Nets, because those are both role player guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Dinwiddie was close to the All-Star game. DeAndre Jordan is a former All-Star. He probably will never get back there again, but I don't really think that, a couple of 6th and 7th men are really calling the shots there. You should subscribe to The Athletic at theathletic.com/no-dunks, where you can read this sentence from Shams Charania. Perhaps the most critical thing of all happened. Sources say Durant chimed in, pointing out the Nets must improve their habits and that they're not building the proper culture traits necessary for a title contender.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of the players were like displeased with Atkinson's communication levels. Like, in terms of what are we doing here? Who's starting, or what are the roles? Mm-hmm. That keeps coming up in that Shams article. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot. It's strange though.
It's like when we played pickup in New York in 2015, and Coach Nick came out and said, as we were taking the floor, "What are we running here?" We had
just met each other.
We had no idea what we were running in this pickup run that was on Sunday morning of All-Star Weekend.
Everybody's hungover.
We're just trying to get through here, Coach Nick.
Just trying to get a sweat on.
Coach Nick told me I was starting. First thing I know, I'm sitting there on the bench.
What? Coach Nick? What are we doing here, Coach Nick?
So, of course, we had a players-only meeting. Yeah. He was gone before the start of the second pickup game.
You put on your cool hat, and you said, "Hey, reporter, that question is bull."
Do you think...
It is interesting, DeAndre Jordan speaking for Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, because they're not part of the media. And so, they're not doing regular media sessions. And so DeAndre is speaking as if he was Kyrie or Kevin Durant.
A little bit. And he's very personable, usually. And he was if you saw some of his, more recent, post-game scrums or whatever you want to call them, he was a little more prickly, I thought, a little more direct. Less jovial for a DJ. But it's weird. I mean, you are a playoff team. That's the strange part. And I don't think that KD and Kyrie are like, fire him. We don't want him. But it sounds like, Marks either sees it or Kenny Atkinson sees it, that your voice is losing ground in the locker room, and it's always, I think it's nearly impossible for these guys to get it back once you've lost, the confidence maybe in your from your players. And that maybe Marks goes to them and goes, "Yeah, I'm thinking about making this move, and I might just do it now." And they were probably like, "Okay." They weren't like,
you say so, Sean.
Here's the point. If they wanted him to be coach, he's coach. He's still coach. If KD goes, "What are you talking about? I came here. I watched the YouTube clips before I signed with the Nets, and I was really impressed with Kenny Atkinson." That's exactly what he said. No, don't fire him. Let me get back, and we like him. Whatever. If they had said that, then Marks is not firing them, or ownership is not moving on. But they obviously didn't say that. Yeah. They didn't care enough. They're like, all right, yeah.
That's why this season was a bit of a gap year anyway for the Nets. Until you see them with Kyrie and Kevin at full strength, it was hard to really see that they weren't going to be better than they were last year, I didn't think. I thought they were going to be around about where they are. In the playoffs, a good team, but certainly not one of the top 4 teams. But when they get Kyrie and Kevin next season, you expect them to be in the top 2 or 3 immediately, whoever's coaching. So... yeah, very weird that it's sort of fallen away like this.
Okay, so who's it going to be? I mean, Jacque Vaughn is obviously the interim head coach. I can't imagine, outside of the Nets upsetting the Raptors of the Bucks maybe in a first-round series and suddenly putting up a fight in the second round. Like, outside of that happening, I can't imagine Jacque Vaughn is the coach for the future here with the Nets currently constructed as they are. Who do you think it's going to be? And is that a part of this? I tweeted that out. Does Sean Marks know that there's somebody that's going to be stepping into this role come the summer? And Kenny was like, I'm ready to move on because I want another job. And it's like, oh, it's going to be Coach X or it's going to be Coach Y. And this is sort of the plan here. Do you think there's one coach more impressive or more interesting than another?
I mean, I have no idea exactly who Sean Marks wants in that role, but it's got to be someone who has respect, I guess, and maybe has a record in the NBA of
Okay, what about Ty Lue then?
Sure, yeah. I mean, Kyrie and Ty were obviously together in Cleveland, so I guess he certainly wants to coach as a head coach again. He was offered the Lakers job, but they couldn't agree to terms, so yeah, he has the respect.
I agree. It's somebody that's coached superstars before.
I
think that is high on the priority list here. And so Jacque Vaughn is unlikely to last till next year. People love Ty Lue when he coached with the Cleveland Cavaliers and won that championship. And I'm sure Kyrie loves him right now. So I would see that as a fit. He almost coached the Lakers. He's going to get another job. That would make sense to me from this perspective.
Yeah, who else is really even out there? I mean, Thibodeau doesn't seem like a guy that they would bring in.
No. Jason Kidd, maybe.
Ended pretty poorly in Brooklyn the first time around.
Yeah, new ownership, though. So
yeah, definitely true.
Mark Jackson is always
Mark Jackson is in the mix, but if you want somebody with a title record, Ty Lue seems like the guy.
Yeah. I if I was a betting man, I would be putting money on that it will be Ty Lue this summer.
What about another Kenny? Kenny Smith?
Oh, come on.
Just because you need another Kenny.
He's going to be coaching the Knicks, man.
Front office and coach of the Knicks.
Wow. Well, that'd be fascinating. Yeah, and I guess Van Gundy's name is always thrown around anytime
none of
there's
those retreads really excite me like that.
No?
No, they don't. I mean, I can't see Thibodeau's style meshing with Kyrie and Kevin Durant.
No, can't see that.
I can't see Mark Jackson either really meshing with those guys. Ty Lue, yes.
Yeah.
Because he's also gone from being the assistant sort of to move up, and then they obviously won the championship there in 2016, so he has that success. But, a Van Gundy, no, I can't see that.
Let's make it Fizdale. He coaches the Nets, and then we'll give Kenny Atkinson to the Knicks.
Sure.
And see what happens there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Fizdale might be a better fit there. I don't know. I'd like him better than those other guys.
I'll throw one more name at you, even though he is still coaching. Mike D'Antoni.
Possible.
Why not?
I mean, he'll be available, I think. So,
right?
Yeah. I mean, he's just going to say, you know what, Kevin and Kyrie, go for it. Go crazy. You can both average 35 a game.
They'd probably like that.
I think they would love that. I think they would absolutely love that. And even then, you might get Spencer averaging 25 a game in that system.
It's just bizarre timing. We don't see this often for a playoff team.
No, I mean, I guess
going in with very low expectations because their stars aren't playing.
David Blatt was the last time in Cleveland when they were 31-10 and he got fired.
Right.
That's the only one that I can really. I mean, Thibodeau got fired after a win last season. Was that last season or the one before? No, it was last season. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that last season?
Yeah, because Ryan Saunders took over.
Yeah,
halfway.
Feels longer.
Now they a playoff team? Well,
right.
Maybe not. But Blatt is the last one. And that felt like it was more coming from the players too.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to give a loser of the weekend. We mentioned it off the top there, really slipped it in. The Milwaukee Bucks. They're a loser of the weekend. They lost sort of a lot, actually, when you look at it this weekend. They lost 2 consecutive regular season games for the first time in a year. Regular season, the key word there. We know what happened with the Raptors in the playoffs. 4 straight, baby. They lost Giannis for a few games after he suffered the knee injury in Friday night's game against those Lakers. He missed Sunday's game versus Phoenix, which they lost, and he will miss tonight's game versus the Nuggets, and we'll go from there. Looks scary. Looked bad. Then he bounced up, and then you're like, okay, he's LeBron-like, where he is sort of superhuman. And then they do the MRI, and it's a minor, I forget the actual term, but
joint capsule?
Yeah, something.
Ruined his joint capsule.
Oh, man, not the joint capsule. But you don't know, like now, they're so clear of the Raptors, like being, up as the 1 seed and with the Raps in the second right now. I don't know, maybe they give him another game or two. And it does feel like 70's sort of done now to me. Yeah. I think that's done. The 96 Bulls and 16 Warriors are popping champagne. They're going to be the only two still in that club of the 70 wins probably. And then, we said it too, Giannis lost maybe his stranglehold on the MVP trophy, right? I still think he's the favorite. He would still get my vote. But it's like it's like when a wrestler's got the guy in the sleeper hold. Maybe sleeper hold's better than a stranglehold. And then, so Giannis has the sleeper hold on, but LeBron is like Hogan right now, where he's doing like his hands dropped a couple times. But yeah, now he's starting to like, the Hulkamaniacs are that's coursing through his.
But you know how that always ended though. Hulk always actually won.
I know, man.
Wow.
It's true. He would drop a big boot.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's asking, he's putting his ear to the crowd. I mean, yeah, I know. It's crazy to think here that LeBron has a chance to maybe steal this, whatever you want to call it, steal it. But just timing, the narrative, what he's doing in year 17, the fact that Giannis won it last year, I think people are always a little bit more exciting to be like, let's give it to another guy. Though it would be LeBron's fifth. There's that historic reasoning, too. That ties him with MJ and Bill Russell. Only one then behind Kareem. I don't know. I think Giannis still gets it done. But Bucks, loser of the weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody agreeing with that one. Who you got, Tess?
The Portland Trailblazers, because this one is put to sleep. IMO. In my opinion, I think the Blazers are done in the playoff race. It sounds a little crazy. I'm not sure what... the old 8:35. What's the 5:38? 5:38. 8:35. What time is it? You never know with this daylight savings time. You never know with these websites. Whatever 5:38's chances are, I think it's 0. I think you can say bye-bye to the Portland Trailblazers because they sit 4.5 back. They lose to Phoenix and they lose to Sacramento, two teams that are also out of the playoff picture. And some may say, well, they're going to get Yusuf Nurkic back on March 15th, as he has proclaimed that is to be a return date. But I don't think that's a very good sign. He's a big guy. He's not going to play great right off the bat, even if their schedule is fairly easy. It also makes Hassan Whiteside his role a little bit puts that up in the air, and I don't think that's
a good thing, isn't it?
Well, no, I think Hassan Whiteside is going to have to play, and if he's not knowing where his minutes are coming from, I don't think he's going to be playing all that hard. Hassan Whiteside actually has been good for them recently. And so I think just putting his role into a gray area puts that team in flux, and Yusuf Nurkic is not going to be great off the bat. It's not going to change the prospects for this team. So you got to give a little bit of a head nod to the Blazers. Tip of the cap for that fantastic playoff performance last year. They went to the Western Conference frickin' final, and they finished off a series and in dramatic fashion. And now I don't think it's happening. I do not think it's happening.
And this sort of gone under the radar because no one wants to really point it out, but Lillard has not been great since he came back from the injuries. He can't hit a shot. He's shooting like 37% over these 3 games, and for Lillard scoring under 20 points per game, that's bad, obviously.
Yeah, that was the push.
I mean, he probably really shouldn't even be playing, I would assume, but trying to get the team to get some of these victories, and instead, they won the first one he came back. That was against the Wizards, and like you said, now dropped to the Suns and Kings, 2 teams that are still trying to make the playoffs.
538 has an 11% chance for the Blazers. 835 has them at 5%.
Nice.
So I think the playoff races are done. I think we've got our 16 teams, which is honestly why it's good that LeBron had a little submission to the MVP race. We got something exciting to talk about here for the last month of the season.
835, is that written by Nate Gold?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, good. Who do you have? Who else are forgetting here? Lee, loser of the weekend.
I got one on Friday, and when it first came out, I was like, I want to talk about this. But as it sort of stewed over the weekend, I thought this is really a nothing. It's the Draymond Green versus Charles Barkley beef.
War of words?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Charles has been on Draymond a little bit this season for averaging a triple single. Draymond hasn't been good.
Great lad.
Yeah.
And Draymond sort of was asked about criticism in general and specifically from Charles Barkley. And one of his responses was, he can't talk basketball with me. He's not smart enough. He's not qualified. No rings, can't sit at this table. I mean, yeah, sure, he can't because he never won a championship ring. But saying he's not smart enough and he's not qualified enough is just absurd. Charles Barkley was a dominant force for 12-plus seasons in the league, MVP once, and he was a top 5 6 times in the MVP voting. He was a truly dominant force at like 6'4", 4.5 as a very undersized power forward. And the reason he hasn't got any rings, I mean, like a lot of those guys from the 90s, is quite simple. Michael Jordan, for one, and he played on teams where he didn't have a lot of all-star talent around him early on there in Philadelphia. And Draymond Green, right now, we're seeing he can't take a team by himself.
Right.
If you put Charles Barkley on this Warriors team now, I think they win a ton more games than what Draymond's got. Now, Draymond's been injured, he's been in out of lineup, I get that.
Current Charles Barkley?
Maybe not current Charles Barkley, but 1989, 1990 Charles Barkley. I bet the Warriors are winning a lot more games because that's what Charles kind of did in his early career. And Draymond, he's a great player, no question. Defensive Player of the Year twice. He's NBA All-Star. But come on, he's not at the table Charles is at in terms of basketball player. He's not even in the same room.
But what about a media personality? Wouldn't this exactly be what a young Charles Barkley would have said back to somebody else calling him out?
Yeah, probably. That's probably fair. But, he also said, this is what Draymond said that was weird. He said, I have a tendency to end people. What's that mean?
I think he's talking about the time he kicked Steven Adams right in the nuts.
And
he ended this entire family tree with that kick.
So I don't quite get that, but but you're right. I mean, Draymond, he'll talk. He's not afraid to talk. But it's like when James Harden said, Giannis is not skilled. I mean, come on, let's get some real beefs. Say some real things here. Don't just say a guy's not good and he can't sit at the table because he didn't win a ring. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, when I look back at Charles, basically for his entire career, except for his rookie season, he averaged a double-double, even at the end where he had no knees.
Yeah.
He was just a force of nature. And, saying that he's not a good basketball player.
I mean, it's weird, especially with the way you're playing right now.
Exactly.
Draymond. It makes it a little bit more difficult to stomach. It's not like you're killing it out there.
No, and this is a great example.
And I like him. He's a great player.
He's a great player, but you see he is a system player when he's got Steph and Clay and Kevin Durant and those guys around him. That's when he thrives. But when he's by himself, it's like, ugh. He doesn't look quite as good offensively as he does when he's pounding the ball up and firing it out to Klay Thompson in the corner. So, I love Draymond. I think we've given him tons of respect over the years for what he's achieved, but weak argument.
Wow, this one was out of line.
Yeah. Ooh.
I do like the ESPN headline, Warriors Draymond Green says he'll take Charles Barkley's job if criticism doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Like he's just going to retire from the NBA and immediately be like, well, I work for TNT now.
Could this
Sorry, bud.
Yeah. Could this all be a work between Barkley and Draymond? Like the of the passing of the baton, the torch. Barkley may be nearing the end of his media career. He's talked about it at least before of how many more years he'll do this.
He's still under contract for several years.
Yeah, that's true. Get that money.
I think he said 60. He's not going to work after 60. That's what he said.
I was going to give Barkley a winner of the weekend just to slip it in here. He's selling off some of his memorabilia. Maybe Draymond's interested. Should buy it and burn it or something. If he's such a badass, that'd be a wicked move. He's Barkley's including his '93 MVP trophy. He's selling off this memorabilia to help his hometown of Leeds, Alabama, to obviously make some hopefully affordable housing and stuff like that. And so he's going to raise the money. He's got all this crap. He says he doesn't care about it. It's like in his mother's house or something like that. He said his daughter. The only thing his daughter wanted to keep was the '92 gold medal. From the Dream Team, but everything else, I guess, is fair game. So,
Charles Barkley gives back. That is undoubtable. Draymond Green cannot comment on that. Charles Barkley is a very good dude when it comes to that.
But it must be a little bit weird having the MVP trophy when they didn't win the championship that season. I'm sure it feels great, but not quite as great as when Dirk won it. They lose in the first round.
You almost wouldn't want to look at it.
Yeah, because it would bring back conflicting memories, wouldn't it? I mean, I think
at least Dirk went on to then win.
Right, but Dirk's was in a worse case. I mean, getting upset in the first round. Charles losing to Michael is no shame in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they were still in the playoffs when he accepted his trophy.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, no, he's I think the MVP trophy's a cool looking trophy too. That's something you'd want on a mantle in your house, wouldn't you? Doesn't look bad. It's an eyesore.
It doesn't look bad. I mean, what trophies look bad?
I don't know. I don't care for just a glass looking one
You like a metal trophy?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
It's looks like whoa, damn, that's important.
The MLB trophy, the World Series trophy we've talked about, the flags. It's a matte trophy.
Yeah, but at least it's made of metal. At least it's made of a precious metal.
Nate Silver.
Yeah, sure.
Nate
Silver with Nate Golden flag on it or whatever it is. I don't know.
Need some 835 flags. What?
Few other mini losers of the weekend, guys. We'll slip them in here. The Rockets. they got to be a loser of the weekend. They looked out of sorts all weekend long. They're on a 4-game losing streak, which matches the season high. This was after we got so excited about the Pocket Rockets, and it was clicking, and Westbrook was dominant. And now they've lost 4 straight to the Knicks, Clippers, Hornets, and Magic. And you said it there, Tass, on Sunday versus the Magic, they couldn't grab a rebound to save their life. Got beat 49-38 on the boards. Magic had 22-8 advantage in second chance points. But it's like that game on Sunday, they lose the game because they can't grab a rebound. The game before that against the Hornets, they can't stop turning the ball over. That was a big reason why they lost. The game before that, they couldn't hit a 3. I mean, it's something every game right now with these Rockets. And they have tumbled all the way down to 6th place in the Western Conference. This was, again, a couple weeks ago, we were like, they're knocking on the
last Monday, I had them as a winner for the huge win over the Celtics. And since then.
Things change quickly in the NBA league.
They do.
Very, very quick.
The Thunder are ahead of them in the standings right now.
I know.
Crazy.
So a little insult to injury, too, JD. On Saturday, the Hornets announcers, they got very excited celebrating James Harden's 10th turnover of the night. They just went bonkers. Here's the clip.
Would you consider points, rebounds, and assists and turnovers a quadruple-double? A dubious one. He is 1 turnover away from his 10th turnover, which would give him a dubious quadruple. There it is! Oh, my goodness! 10 turnovers for James Harden! A quadruple-double! I don't think anyone's ever gotten excited about a turnovers engine. That's history, folks. A quadruple-double for James Harden in points, rebounds, assists, and turnovers.
Man.
Say what?
Yeah, right?
I think he's done that before, though.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I don't know about the quadruple-double part, but he's had 10 turnovers before.
Okay, yeah,
But
maybe.
That's his 3rd triple-double with 10 turnovers.
Triple-double.
Yes.
Okay, not
Right.
quadruple-double.
Well, it would be a quadruple-double. A triple-double plus 10 turnovers.
Sorry. I thought you were
Third time,
counting the
yeah.
turnovers
No,
as
no,
the
no.
triple-double, the joking triple-double. Okay, so yeah, he's done it multiple times. Why are they freaking out so much?
Eric Collins going right at him.
I know. They were holding
Nerd
back
alert!
there. They were not holding back. And one more loser of the weekend, the coronavirus. I mean, it might be taking, the NBA might be in trouble here. Hopefully not, but Shams over the weekend saying the NBA has sent a memo to its franchises explaining that due to the coronavirus outbreak, teams should be preparing to play games without fans in attendance.
Well, it happened in Italy over the weekend.
I know.
Soccer games were played without fans. And
They asked LeBron about this, and he said, I ain't playing if there's no fans in the stands. That's what he said.
Yeah, I know he said that. A little bit weird. It's not like the NBA is trying to ban fans because they're doing something wrong. It's a
of
public
course.
health issue. I mean,
but he says it's a big part of it.
But
If they're not there, I'm not playing.
they'd still be on TV though, I guess, wouldn't they? The
Yeah.
games, they'd still be watching them.
Yeah, I think that would be.
It'd be strange. It'd be like watching a glorified pickup run, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be very odd.
Yeah.
But again, hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, give it a loser of the weekend anyway.
Wash your hands.
That's right. Tweet of the night time.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
All right, I got 2 here. First one, at Local Agitator, also known as Kevin Kennedy. He tweeted, "Hey, No Dunks fans, we've only got 6 tickets left to their Hoop Talks live show in Toronto, March 28th. That's it.
Awesome.
We were just talking about there being like 30 or 40 or something like that. Down to 6. So if you're in Toronto, March 28th, come out and see your boys. Go to homestandsports.com. You better act quickly because those will likely be gone by the end of the day. But the real tweet of the night goes to at Nathan Marzion. Armenian? Maybe. He writes, November, is Giannis or Kawhi the MVP? December, is Giannis or Luka the MVP? January, is Giannis or Harden the MVP? February/March, is Giannis or LeBron the MVP? I think it's pretty clear who the MVP is.
LeBron.
Luka. Put it that way.
Put it that way. It's a good tweet. I like that tweet.
Great tweet.
So great. It's fair, too. He's not really, that's exactly how it's basically gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a geometry proof. If Giannis is the MVP in November, is he still the MVP in March? If Giannis is the MVP in March, is he still the MVP in April? Show your work. Sorry,
Give
man.
me
I haven't taken
flashbacks.
geometry
Yeah.
for such a long time, but I do remember not liking proofs. But this
No.
tweet was better than proof.
It was a good tweet.
Good proof.
Good tweet, Nathan. Pick'em results from Friday night. I was the only one to take the Rockets versus the Clippers. Clippers won handily. You guys got the W. Got 3 of us tied 2-2 in the month of March. Tass is 1-3. Got his first victory there in March. What's our game tonight?
Quiet night in the association. Only 3 games, so we're going to have to get creative tomorrow on Tuesday's show. It's going to be a wild one. I can feel it. I'm going to go with the Raptors at the Jazz.
Okay.
Even though the Bucks are playing the Nuggets without Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think this one's a little tougher to pick. Utah -4.5 at home to Toronto. Jazz have won 5 in a row. The Toronto Raptors have won 3 in a row on their trip.
Wow, this is a tough one.
The Jazz at home are just have been struggling. They've lost 4 in a row, I think, at home.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
they beat the Wizards in their last home.
Oh,
game.
they did. Sorry, they did lose 4 in a row at home. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a weird streak for the Jazz. They won 4, lost 5, won 4, lost 4, won 5.
But the 5 they won, Boston was a good one. But
Boston was Conley. That was great
Yeah.
on the game on Friday night. Could have gave the Jazz a winner of the weekend, I guess.
Raptors on a back-to-back though. I'll take the Jazz.
Jazz to win by 5 or more.
Ugh.
You don't like it,
That
eh?
was by the way, Luke Walton could have been a loser for the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
For that last play last
Not
night
playing
against
Buddy
the Raptors.
Hield.
Oh,
Not
in
playing-
the fourth quarter.
Not playing one of the greatest three-point shooters in the game, and you need a three-point shot. You may want to put him in there.
That was
coach.
an incredibly fun fourth quarter too,
Yeah.
by the way. But I'll take the Jazz tonight.
I'm with you. I hate picking against my Raps. Everybody knows that. But that back-to-back situation, yeah. And the Jazz are streaky, as we've seen. So I'll take Utah to cover by 5 or like 4.5.
You know, I was thinking the Jazz as well, but it's their 3rd game in 4 nights. And now that I'm looking at those streaks, might be an L in there.
All right.
Give me the Raptors.
Got the Raptors.
Swerve it.
I'll take the Raps.
Wow.
Don't like a team. First game home after long road
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah,
First
true.
game home after long road trip.
Very true.
Give me the Raps.
Very,
Give
very
me the
true.
Raps.
All right, we're split on that one. Tass and Trey like the Raps to cover. Lee and I will take the Jazz to win by 5 or more points. That's it for us here. That was a longie, but it's good. We didn't have a show on Friday because we were in Nashville. We were at the roller rink. Everybody feeling all right after skating around? You fell, you said. I didn't see you fall.
I took a couple of spills early,
you really?
just as I was finding my feet, yeah. But after that, I was okay. It's great fun.
It was fun. It was the first time I'd ever done it. Ever.
Wow.
Mine too.
Roller skating not big in Canada
Yeah, I
because you
guess
got you got ice
the
skating.
ice, yeah.
Except for JD. JD did
Well,
it
yeah,
a lot
JD.
as a kid.
Oh yeah, all
Take
the
my
time.
take my spot next time, JD. I stunk. I just stopped going. I fell one time as well, and I was done after that.
Yeah. I'm not good at it, but I do enjoy it.
Well,
I do enjoy it.
you can skate around the rink.
Yeah.
I was not doing that.
Take the kids to it. It is
Yeah.
fun, legit fun. I had
A
a blast.
throwback, no doubt.
Sparkles. Is that what it was called? Yeah.
Sparkles
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah.
One of 14 in America. Family-owned business. Named after a woman's cat. All facts.
Those are all facts, baby.
Sparkles is a chain.
Well,
14?
yeah, it's like a family-owned chain.
Yeah, family chain.
Well,
There's
it's
a
a chain,
yeah,
chain.
exactly.
Yeah.
In the South.
Are you sure there's still 14, or they closed some down? I thought.
I don't know. I haven't done that much Sparkles
okay.
research. I'll check their Wikipedia page.
Guys, make sure to check out the other great podcasts on the Athletic Network. Count the Dinks, Back-to-Back, Hoops Adjacent, and so many more. We'll see you tomorrow.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, No Dunks is paid by the minute produced, so we had to make up for Friday's no-show with this longie.
Yeah, we're good like 70 minutes here today.
Whoa!
Embrace the day, people.
You could stay